Hello, hello, Jeff. How you going?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Thanks, Michael. Yeah,
That's
good.
good, mate. Thanks for coming on board this morning and having a bit of a chat with us. For those of you out there that don't know, Jeff Jenkins is the managing director of the Ride One Point Health facility clinic. Basically, Jeff's one of four co-founders and directors of the business, and he's kind enough to join us today. Obviously, they're going through a lot and a lot of challenges through this whole COVID-19 thing. So it's going to be quite interesting to hear how you're coping with things, mate. But tell us to start with, how did One Point Health Ride come about? How did that eventuate?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Firstly, so One Point Health Ride, we were One Point Health, I guess, to start with, was an amalgamation of four different clinics, and that started out in the Penrith area. And around the same time, we were actually looking at a bit of an expansion plan, and it was a perfect timing, and just particularly with podiatrists, quite a small industry, so you develop some pretty close connections with your colleagues. And at the time, Robert Mayer, who was quite a well-known podiatrist and has been around for quite a long time, he had Ride Podiatry. He had Ride Podiatry for about 30 odd years. A very reputable podiatry clinic, and he was looking to, I guess, step back from the ownership point of view. And one of our fellow directors, Trent Baker, was currently on the board at the Podiatry Association at the time, and it all kicked off from there, really. And from there, Ride Podiatry, we purchased Ride Podiatry, and in the coming 2 years, we went through a rebranding process to get it to One Point Health. It's been a fantastic ride up until then.
And mate, it looks fantastic. Obviously, for those that don't know, you've moved facilities as well. You've down on Victoria Road and Shepherd Street there on the corner, which is a fantastic office.
Yeah, they've had quite a lot of development plans around that top right area. So we've planned ahead, and we were proactive in making the move there. We didn't really want to wait around and be forced to make a move. So we thought, let's just find a premises, and we were also outgrowing the premises at the time as well. So we really wanted to increase some of our physical space so we could try to implement some of our other services that we have out in our Penrith clinic as well. So it was a good plan, and it happened at the right time as well, particularly before some of this other stuff started.
Exactly. No one could see the foresight on what was going to happen after you guys moved into there. But just on that, like, obviously everyone's going through their own challenges at the moment. How are you guys sort of finding things in the health space, obviously with podiatry and physio and all that sort of stuff? How are you finding sort of the general practices? Are you having to change a lot?
Yeah, from the private sector, the private allied health sector, it's been probably similar to the wider industries, where there's been a hesitation to come out into the public area, and particularly with some of the recommendations from the government with over 70s. That is a big demographic that we work with, patients coming in because they need that foot care, and also people want to minimise direct contact as well. So there was a downturn there, but I have to say, overall, I've been extremely proud of how we responded, and some of the plans we put in place, and also with our staff and how they responded as well. It's actually been a really refreshing period for us to reflect on the people that we have that are in the team, and see how positive they are. It's actually been, like I said, quite refreshing.
Yeah, good. And I think, mate, we're the same in the real estate space. We're having to sort of adapt and change a few things. And there is some silver linings that are sort of coming out of that from a team point of view, I suppose, and seeing the camaraderie between the team. And obviously the stuff you've got in the business and how they're sort of all on the same page as far as the sort of end goal, which is great. What about the general practices? Is there things that you sort of implemented that you think you guys are going to sort of keep in place post-COVID after this all sort of
I think one of the things that really helped us from a team perspective was we committed as an executive when this first started. We said to ourselves, right, as from a staff perspective, what would you want if you were working with, an organisation? And our biggest thing was transparency. Is really obviously do as much as we can to maintain everyone keep their jobs, and there was job security there, and that was our biggest goal to start with. We always said that. We're extremely proud to be able to say that we've maintained all our jobs. I think 50 staff, so that's been a pretty proud achievement for us. But the other thing was, as I said before, is transparency, because with transparency you develop trust really easily. And with that trust, you are confident in how things are progressing. So I think we'll probably maintain increased transparency with our staff and also our patient demographic as well. In terms of actual services and protocols, we implemented telehealth services, so online appointment systems. So we were, because I feel we were onto this pretty early. As soon as news started to come out of China, and then it started to spread throughout the Asia Pacific area. In Europe, we were onto this pretty early in terms of implementing plans. So as soon as we heard that, we started the telehealth services. That was always in the back of our mind to implement that anyway. But this obviously forced our hand a little bit. That was developed pretty quickly, and you will definitely be maintaining that, because it's a great alternative for patients to be able to, particularly if they're homebound, to be able to have that service there.
Well, it just provides convenience, doesn't it? Like overall, it's sort of the way the world's moving. Like you look at Uber Eats, any of those companies, Airbnb and so on. They've been born out of convenience, and I think telehealth's a great example of something in the health industry that will transform the industry.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it'll be silly not to. With the technology we have these days, it's a great advantage to be able to offer that service to patients.
Yeah, great. How are you finding, obviously, I mean, futuristic, everyone sort of still has one eye on the future, I suppose. So looking at growth and obviously the next stage, like I know you mentioned you've got the sort of flagship practice in Penrith, and there was always that future plan to growth. Do you guys still have plans over the next sort of 12 months, 2 years, 5 years to sort of progress further, and how you sort of looking at that at the moment?
Yeah, definitely. We're confident. We're confident that because we're seeing I would say we probably had about a 2-week period there where we saw a pretty hefty downturn, but we were confident that things will return relatively. I wouldn't say I don't think normal is particularly a word that I associate with what's happening at the moment.
No.
But relative normality, then I think it'll return pretty quickly in the health sector. And we're confident we're seeing those changes already. So from a business perspective, we are continuously looking at seeing where there's opportunities to expand, or business opportunities with other businesses as well. And we definitely already have plans moving into the northwest area of Sydney. Those plans are being actioned as we speak, and it's that's an exciting time. That's an extremely fast-growing area, and there's definitely opportunities there.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's very exciting to look at that as well, and I suppose that also does help motivate staff as well, and that's what I'm finding. Like with my staff and my team here in real estate, we've always got one eye on sort of increasing our average sale price and increasing the transactions and helping our clients to a better ability by expanding the suburbs we take care of. So there's a number of different things we're always got one eye on, subliminally, if that makes sense. So I think it's clever to do that. From a sort of health point of view, obviously it's different. I'm in the real estate space, so I sort of see it from a sort of open home perspective. And like you said, there was a 2-week period there where I'm calling it the eye of the storm, so to speak. There was obviously a lot less transactions. For us in real estate, it was almost like we were on holidays for 2 weeks, just with no open homes, nothing really sort of selling in that week and a half period while everything was going on. How did you sort of find that initially, sort of with your staff, keeping all your patients and so on focused on how you are there to help? Like, what was the conversations like from a coalface point of view?
So from a protocol or process point of view, our biggest thing was to I guess that, as I mentioned before, is to really maintain transparency, but we also really increase our communication to our patients. We try to use multiple different tools and resources to making sure that we're reaching out to our patients, not only from a business perspective, but also just from a caring perspective. So,
Yeah.
there was a part of this whole event. There's been, particularly the elderly, they've become very isolated, and usually the elderly population, it's not uncommon for them to feel isolated anyway due to mobility issues, technology issues. So even we just said to our staff, reach out to a couple of your patients that you might think that are maybe feeling isolated or struggling to get groceries, and just check on them, see how they're going. So it was implementing definitely an increase in communication, both from a caring perspective, but also a business perspective as well. So educating all our patients through, particularly our social media, about all the different protocols we've implemented, and making sure that they're well aware that we're definitely following the guidelines that are recommended by the New South Wales Health, and we implemented that very quickly. And then all our staff had all the appropriate training to make sure that they knew how to follow those protocols as well. And just creating confidence in the things that we're doing, and making sure that they knew that we're doing the right things as well.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think too many businesses probably have too much focus on their business practice as far as the profit and loss statement, rather than the care factor. And I think that's one thing that's come out of this is obviously the coronavirus. It's sort of more, you've got to look after the public and after your clients, and they're first and foremost. So I think that's brilliant, mate, that the fact that you've done all that and increased that transparency. It's really good. Obviously in the future, from a ride point of view, what I can say, because I've actually been into your facility and used you guys recently, I think it's pretty awesome how things are becoming amalgamated. Is that something that you guys have had the foresight to sort of look at, like podiatry, physio, like all the things that you can sort of amalgamate? Are you guys sort of going to be evolving that further?
Yeah, for sure. That is at the core of 1 Point Health. That is part of our ethos, part of our strategic plan. Is 4 years ago when we, or 5 years ago when we first, this idea was first born, I guess, between the directors. It was always a goal to bring as many, but also the appropriate allied health services and also specialist services together, because all the research, all the science says that team integrated healthcare gets better health outcomes for patients. It also provides a better working environment for staff as well. So it's definitely a part of our future plans is to continue to expand in that space, what we call multidisciplinary care. So it's definitely it's a huge focus of ours, because even just if you're looking from a business perspective, you're looking at reduced overheads as well. You're looking at improved communication between staff, improved communication to patients. There's definitely less barriers to achieving good patient outcomes, and you also bring a lot more people to the one area. Just with organic awareness, they come into this clinic and they're not aware of physio, and a patient can be educated in the room of a podiatrist about the benefits of physio or massage or dietetics. So it's extremely advantageous to us.
Yeah, no, I think it's brilliant. I think it's very clever. Like if you look as far as sort of the real estate space, like we liken that to the fact that we've got an in-house mortgage broking company. Like it's a sort of a one-stop shop to be able to assist all our clients if they need to buy a property.
Yes.
And I think the health industry for so long, everyone's been sort of separate. To bring them all together and to be able to have a podiatrist in one room and then be speaking to their client and go, hang on a sec, I think you need to go have a chat to this person as well, and they're only one room away rather than sort of 10 blocks away.
Yeah,
it's a different scenario altogether. So I think it's really cool, mate. You guys are doing some really great innovation.
Thank you.
In the industry. It's awesome. Yeah. Mate, thanks for taking the time this morning to have a chat with us and obviously let everyone know about how you guys are coping. Yeah, is there anything else you want to sort of say to the local community before we sort of finish up today?
Thanks for having me to start with.
Sorry.
I'd say hang in there, be resilient, be confident. People will, with confidence and with trust, people will come back and seek your services. Be transparent, because with transparency, as I said, that's where the trust and confidence is developed from a consumer. That would be my tip or recommendation. That's what's worked for us, and we're pretty proud of how we've been able to get through, and obviously to current, how we've been able to get through these events.
Yeah, definitely. Mate, we'll take care, and yeah, we'll catch up soon. All right. Thanks for coming on board.
Yes.
Thanks, Jeff. Speak to you soon.